Our next speaker will be Ian McCall to discuss the lack of institutional support for Black males and the success of Black male students.
All right, good evening. Thank you all for coming out and staying in this cold with us. I want to talk to you all this evening about conscience, and I want to highlight somebody in particular who I've been working really closely with on this, Nabila, who I realized I lean on quite a bit to point out blind spots. And so why this is relevant is that your conscience is not just in place to let you know when you've been guilty. All right? Your conscience is not just in place to let you know when you've done wrong. Your conscience speaks from that place that knows how bright your light really has the potential to shine. And because of that, your conscience also knows just how deep your darkness can go. And so because of that reason, it's your conscience that mourns when you fail to live up to the heights that you were built for. And where this is relevant is that when we talk about the issue of minorities on this campus, and Black males in particular, we're talking about the conscience of this institution. We're not just talking about a demographic that's here that is glad to have made the cut. We're not just talking about people on campus who are here to threaten you or hit you upside the head and take your iPods and end up in the safety reports. We're talking about this institution's conscience. And why are we its conscience? Because, number one, what better and who better to point out the things to you that you don't see than somebody who resides in the places you don't look. The other reason why we're also as conscious is because there's a certain danger in ignoring your conscience. Your conscience is in place to keep the worst parts of you from colliding with each other. And you can only go so long ignoring your conscience. First, it whispers to you to tell you what the right thing is to do. And then it uses its inside voice and says the same thing, this is what is right. And then if you don't listen, it's no longer using its inside voice, it's using its outside voice, and the things that you did not listen to are materialized and in front of your face, and they're no longer whispering and asking nicely for anything. So, I look to Nabila for help when I need someone else to lean on and say, hey, am I getting ready to like spaz? Like, is this the right thing to do? You know, should I pull the trigger on this? And I think that as a community, we've got to learn that the best place to find our conscience. You know, everybody's not lucky enough to have their own personal Jiminy Cricket. The best place to find your conscience is to the people who are to the left and right of you. And so as a community, I think that we've largely been spinning without a conscience. In regards to Black male issue, myself and some other students started out last semester trying to address some issues that were also the result of institutional racism. And so we're still moving forward with that. And at this point, the thing that's needed most is student input and demonstrated student input. I'll read some of what's here and then go on, because it's cold. Okay, so our first demand is that Emory bypass any further apologies. Not only have they been issued already, but an apology turns what could otherwise be a pivotal moment into a temporary memory in the already selective memory of the institution. It is also unbecoming of an institution to set an example for its students of mastering the art of apology rather than the art of change. continue this community's enduring tradition of adorning its illnesses with well-embellished band-aids. In lieu of apologies or any other form of self-admonishment, we require positive action on the following. And now, already there are several factions within the community who are working on this, like Campus Life, Office of Community and Diversity, Office of Undergraduate Education, and it's been coined the Black Male Initiative. The first demand is that the institution put resources towards academic parity between black students and the remainder of the population. For a number of reasons. We're not coming into this institution with the same frame of reference for academic rigor as our counterparts. The result is that too many black students have ourselves questioned our right to be here. Next is a mentor program between identified students and faculty appointed by the committee itself, formed for the purpose of counseling students on getting everything out of the Emory education that a degree can't guarantee. Next, as many others have said, a safe space for members of the black community to express themselves freely and comfortably, perhaps across student-faculty lines and with impunity. We urge the Emory community to leverage the opportunity that this conflict has created. We challenge the community to rise to the occasion of its own inaction and squelch out the negative momentum it has created with positive action. And so, in closing, and talking to the community that I came to speak on, when it comes to black males, I got involved in this because I got tired of seeing and hearing students who look like me come and say, I wonder if I belong here. I want to say you do belong here. And so you ought to hold your heads like you belong here. We helped build this place. Like, we are not guests in a place that we helped build. And so I also want to say, on the flip side, we aren't entitled to any of this stuff. The things that we have outlined here tonight, we aren't entitled to any of it. But we are entitled to stand up and fight for it. So you aren't here because there's nothing for you to gain. And you aren't here because there's nothing for your community to gain. But this community also needs us at its best. And as its conscience, Emory will forever fall short of its own potential as long as it refuses to acknowledge us. That's all I got.
Thank you, Ian. Bear with me, we have two more great speeches coming this way. Our next speakers will be Giovanna Jones, a college sophomore and Black Student Alliance president, and Mariama Jallow, college sophomore and BSA vice president, who will be discussing the removal of the Black Student Alliance House and the importance of formal black spaces on our campus.
Hello. For years, a small house off Eagle Road used to be the home of the Black Student Alliance. This house would serve as a space for living, learning, congregating, and informally educating the black community and the community at large. At the beginning of my freshman year, fall 2011, I remember walking to that house for the Blackout Weekend cookout, a chance for underclassmen to meet upperclassmen. Now, at some point between my first Blackout Weekend and my last moments as an Emory first-year student, the house was no longer home. A house that stood as BSA's space and legacy was taken away. You would think that as vice president of the Black Student Alliance, I would have an answer to where did this house go, but I cannot give you an answer because I don't know. It is a bit unnerving that we are to carry on the legacy of the Black Student Alliance, but have no official documentation or understanding as to why this BSA space no longer exists. No leaders can carry on a strong legacy when there are gaps in their history. We need answers. Thus, the Black Student Alliance requests from Campus Life accurate documentation of what happened to the Black Student House and who participated in the decision-making. Furthermore, we would like to know Campus Life's official plans for the former BSA house, and if we are even being considered for another space. I look around Emory's campus, and I see construction popping up everywhere. A new freshman housing dorm every year, and you're telling me that there is no money, that there are no funds to build a new BSA house, or to renovate the BSA house that we have. I do not understand this. We do not have respect on this campus, because if we had respect, we would have a space. Just like all the fraternities on Frat Row, and all the mainstream sororities. All their lodges, they all have spaces. But us as Black people, we don't really have a space. And they're slowly weeding us out, and they're slowly taking away all of our spaces. And they're listening to our grievances, but there is no action. They are not doing anything. There is no plan.
So, alongside our request for documentation of what actually happened to the BSA house and why, as all new exec board, we don't know what happened to that and why, we also have a vision to share looking forward. We envision an on-campus space that serves as a home away from home for members of the Black community and those that want to share in this heritage. We envision a space that promotes Black culture in all its own diversity. A space that serves to educate and invite not only Emory students, but peers from fellow institutions and members of the Atlanta community as well. And not only for Black students, for we have a lot of beauty to share. We have a lot of passion and vibrance, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of culture. So this space will definitely be open to everyone because we have a whole lot to share. A space that houses resources such as club offices, function space, gallery space, all to help cultivate community and Black identity. Headquarters, if you will. African American cultural spaces like this actually exist at many of our fellow institutions. Georgetown, Yale, Stanford, University of Virginia, Baldwin, and many others. Thus, we do not need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to get moving. Fabulous resources for not only our institution, but for the general public. Resources such as the African American Archives in Marble and the James Weldon Johnson Institute for the Study of Race and Difference. Therefore, I think we have good reason to be able to challenge Emory to continue to progress in race relations and growth by committing to strengthen its own community with formal spaces for cultural engagement. Through a specific lens of Black heritage, this space would promote values that have been crucial to Black culture and our ancestry. Community, identity, interdependence, awareness, creativity, and education. Our vision, this space, would be a service to us all. For Black is not just an activity or an organization, even though we're starting to lose those as well. Black is life, human, and we all need a place we can call home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariama and Giovanna. Our final speaker will be college senior Stephanie Yanez. She is the Vice President of College Council and member of Change at Emory. Stephanie will provide recommendations to university administrators in order to facilitate movement forward.
I'm the last speaker, yay. So on behalf of Change at Emory, I would like to thank you all for being here today. We have heard a number of stories from members of Emory community that show a pattern of pain and a pattern of disappointment. We can do better. My peers have pointed out that these are not isolated incidents, but these are a series of events that have taken place through years, creating a culture here at Emory of racial apathy and insensitivity. We can do better. Yet we all stand here today not only to show our hurt and solidarity, but to say it's time for a better Emory. We will do better. We are tired of hearing and talking that Emory is different because we talk about racial issues. We're tired of talking. We ought to say Emory is different because we act. So, how can we move forward? What can we do to change this? Many of the speakers today have had some wonderful solutions, and Change at Emory would like to share some of those recommendations to the administrators. I'll let it finish. First, we would like the university to invest in the creation of a Black Student Union. Giovanna touched on it a little bit. We want physical spaces for students of color to come together on Emory's campus, spaces that promote Black culture and Black heritage. We would like resources to further promote cultural awareness, social justice, and participation from the community at large. To move forward, we require spaces that will allow us to build connections within and among the communities. We might model this after Yale's Afro-American Cultural Center, a space, they say, that seeks to develop an environment in which cultural diversity is understood and respected throughout their campus community and beyond. We at Emory might seek a new union that seeks to do more